And welcome back to another battle video. So this is the Wailord deck that had everyone at Nationals going, huh? So while I was not able to attend Nationals this year, I did tune into the stream and of course, was checking in all the Facebook updates. And this was the deck of the year. Wailord made it to second place, and no offense, Jason Glazinski, but I think everyone knows that the Wailord deck really would have won, and Jason unfortunately won just on technicality of time. But I just kind of wanted to show how the deck works, because a lot of people have been really confused about just pretty much how it works. So as you can see, the deck only runs two Pokemon, Wailord and Suicune. Wailord is because it's huge, it tanks, it's got that 250 HP, and it's really hard to knock out in just one shot. Now, you don't attack. The goal of this deck is to pretty much stall your opponent and deck them out. And you win because they cannot draw a card at the beginning of their next turn. You play Suicune because, it's going to block any EX attackers. You pretty much just have to prevent them from taking their 6 prizes before they can deck out. Now, as you can see, my opponent gets a really a bad start. And with that Silent Lab in play, he's not able to use Shaman's ability, but he is able to get an end going. And usually you don't see Wailords with full benches, but since he was drawing so poorly, just more cards that you can get out of your deck as possible, so that you can draw into your stall cards, your stall supporters, your Grunch, your Max Potions, Cassius, Az, Zeratic, Enhanced Hammers. Pretty much anything that stalls, this deck has it. So the Birch, I think there's 1 or 2 Birch in here just for a little bit of draw. It runs a couple. Now, this is not the exact list that that got second place. The list can be found online. I believe it's still posted on the Pokemon website, just Pokemon.com, and you can read about all the other lists as well. But we pretty much just took it and just tweaked it a little bit to our personal preference. And that's there were several Wailords that made day 2, and I'm sure they were all just a little bit different. So as you can see, he's getting a Thundurus up. He's finally getting an attacker. I'm not quite sure what this deck is. At first, I saw the Shaman and the egg and him benching the egg, so I was thinking maybe this was going to be a Ray deck. Ray decks are a little harder because they, can get much closer to one-shotting you, so you have to be able to, Max Potion or something every single turn. Rough Seas is a big part of this deck because it's healing 30 from your Pokemon every single turn, and to each Pokemon. So, if you can, if they do something like an escape rope or something and you can get a damaged Pokemon back to the bench, you can just hang out there and heal it too. It also plays Hard Charm, as you can see, just so that its damage is doing even less effect. And I don't really know why I attached the Hard Charm to Suicune. It looks like he doesn't have a non-EX attacker right now other than Execute, so I probably would have been better off just attaching it to the Wailord. But yeah, not really a big deal. Oh, and I think that's my phone going off. I just don't know where I put it. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so you can see that maybe he doesn't really seem to know, or I don't know how to put this. When you're going up against Wailord, you either have to take your 6 prizes very, very fast, so you need to be putting out damage, a lot of damage, every single turn, or you somehow have to outstall your opponent. Now, that's pretty much almost impossible with Wailord unless you're playing like Bunnelby or something like that. Because as you can see, it's maybe kind of hard for you to see since it's right there in the middle, but this deck also runs Hue. Now, and I had to read what Hue did too, because I thought it was just a shuffle supporter, or I thought it just like you shuffled in and drew 5, or you drew until you had 5 or something like that. But if you have more than 5 cards in your hand, you have to discard until you get 5, and that's a big deal, because a big tactic to use against Wailord while you're trying to find more time to put more energy, or not energy, put more damage on the side, is to just hold all the cards in your hand. Only play what you absolutely need to play, so that when you get an N or, a small Colress or something, you can shuffle all those cards back into your deck so you don't deck out. Hue prevents you from doing that. If I see that my opponent has 10 to 12 cards in their hand and I don't need to heal this turn, use a heal supporter like Cassius or Az or something like that to refresh my Wailord, then I'm going to be using that Hue. As you can see, this is pretty much it. He's not able to hit me with Manectric, with that Suicune, so he's trying to overrun to put some snipe damage on. But we have the Rough Seas in play, so every time he puts damage on the bench, it's only 20 damage. Rough Seas is healing 30, so he's not doing anything right now. And I think he's starting to realize that, so he's starting to power up a Raichu on the bench. He's got the Mega Manectric. He's got as much time as he wants. And it looks like he's just going to use the Mega Manectric to maybe just add a few energy from his discard pile. Looks to a Manectric, another Manectric. So the plan, I would assume, is to probably take out my Suicune with his Raichu, and then go in heavy with his Manectric and start hitting on the Wailords. I don't really know if, I just got too much of a good start. Really the best way to beat Wailord is hope that they have a terrible start and you're able to take, if they have a lone Wailord start. And I actually will be posting a video showing how to beat Wailord. Just an example of just how a bad start is all you really need to beat the deck. But this is the example of how the deck really works. As you can see in my hand, I've got 2 Flare Grunts. So I'm going to be able to discard energy off of their active. Pokemon Fan Club is pretty much useless at this point. And 2 Cassius that I can shuffle in any, my Pokemon in to completely heal them up. And that's why you run multiple copies of Wailord, so that you can Cassius, because it does shuffle the cards back into your deck. And so you're going to have to dig them back out again. And there's pretty much nothing for me to do right now. There's no damage to heal. He has a no-card hand, but... surprisingly, for his no-card hand, I have the screen tilted. He does have a few cards in his hand now. I'm actually very sorry about that. He's probably had several cards in his hand for a while now. And so he finally takes out the Suicune with that Raichu. So I might as well just promote the Wailord at this point. Another Suicune is just going to take it off. And I'm just going to use a Flare Grunt to take an energy off and force him to attach another energy to the active. And this is where I might get to start using some Max Potions. So we see a Mega Turbo to power up that Manectric on the bench. So he's not too concerned about the Flare Grunts. He goes ahead and pulls up the Suicune because he is going to have to take an extra prize at some point. With Wailord being 2 prizes, Suicune being 1, it does mess up the prize count. So he goes ahead and gets that Suicune out of the way, so he knows at least for the rest of the game, because I don't believe this version of the list plays Sacred Ash or anything to get Pokemon back in. Not completely sure on that, but I don't think it does. So at least he's got those Suicunes out of the way. He only needs to take out 2 Wailords now. He's got, what is that, a 6 or an 8? Cards left in his deck. It's looking pretty good for me. Now he's fully powered up. He's going to be hitting really hard. Every turn he's going to be hitting hard. But as you can see, I'm seeing that I just have my dowsing is already gone, but that's not that big a deal. Just looking at the rest of it, I have, 2 Cassius and an Az, so I've got 3 supporters that can heal that Wailord. Or I can just use the Max Potion. And I think what I'm going to do now is I'm looking at that heavy retreat cost of that Magnezone. So I think I'm going to Lysander up that Magnezone. And that's just another stall tactic of this deck, is just to, if they have a heavy retreater like that on the bench, just drag it up. Make them search for the card to pull it out. And then I'll be able to use the Max Potion. Do I need to use the Max Potion? I decided to take a chance and not use the Max Potion, even though Lassie's got 90 on me, so, okay, so he does play an Escape Rope, which is fine by me, because now that Wailord, while he's able to get his Magnezone out of the way, my Wailord is now safe on the bench, where Rough Seas can just heal off all that damage. So very happy that I did not play that max potion, since it would have been pretty much a waste at that point. Excuse me. And we see the Raichu come back up. I mean, Raichu's going to hit me hard. I think at that point I'll probably use the max potion then. We see him play down another Skyfield, so I do need to get another Rough Seas out so I can heal up my bench a little bit. And we see another Lysander, so so this actually is coming down to be quite a close game. I was not expecting him to have the Escape Rope and the Lysander in hand to be able to take out that Wailord, as well as the Skyfield to get rid of my Rough Seas. So, I'm just going to have to pass right here. He doesn't have enough cards in his hand to be a useful Hue. And, yeah, so he just does another 160 to me. Got plenty of max potion though, so I'm just going to max potion and Skyla for the Rough Seas, just to get it out pretty much. While I don't necessarily need it now, maybe I should have waited until I needed it. It does reduce his Raichu's attack power. Now, I was a little surprised by the Pokemon that he decided to discard. He threw out the Shaman, which usually is a good play because Shaman's, an easy 2 prizes, and when Skyfield's replaced, usually you throw out Shamans, or if you have them benched, your eggs. But in this case, I really would have discarded that Magnezone because he doesn't have any energy on him, so it's not like he's attacking, and that heavy retreat cost just makes him Lysander bait. And he's only got 4 cards left in his deck, though, so I'm still looking very good as long as I can keep up a steady stream of just him not being able to one-shot me. So I'm going to Az up that active Wailord, throw it back down on the bench, and let him keep on going. So now he's down to 3 cards, I believe, in his deck. He does have 5 in hand, so yeah, at any point I can pretty much heal him if I would like to after he draws for his next turn, assuming he doesn't play anything down, which he really shouldn't be with only 8 cards available to him. Ending himself would get him a few more turns. But really, at this point, even though he got it down to very close to the last 2 prizes, I've got 2 more turns where I'm going to be able to get that Wailord back in. And looks like a Megaphone, so we're going to use that Megaphone, get rid of all his tools. And I think we're just going to Cassius that Wailord back in. He draws, and he's got 1 card left. So this did actually come. Now, unless he ends right now to give himself a few more turns, which that'll give me a fresh hand too. That's probably going to help me out. And I draw the Az. So definitely want to use the Az over the Cassius just because I don't have another Wailord bench and I haven't been drawing into them. Yeah, and I think I misclick here, and I realized I was like, no, I do not want the Cassius. I want the Az, and save the Cassius for next turn. So I can play that Wailord back down again. And as you can see, he draws his last card, so unless he has an end this turn, he will lose on his next turn. Yep, and he's unable to end, so he hits me again. And at this point, all I have to do is pass. He's unable to draw a card, and that is a victory. Now, I am using a different software to record these videos now, so quality looks good just right now. But please let me know once it's uploaded. Sometimes things can change a little bit, so let me know what you guys think. Make sure the quality is the same. I can still change some things around in the settings. And I'm hoping to get many more battle videos up. With the new software, we were having a lot of issues with Hypercam, so we changed to OBS, I believe. I was able to get many more battle videos that I haven't been able to get up lately. So hopefully you guys will have liked this video. And next video, I think I'm going to show the video where I do lose playing Wailord, and just kind of show you how a bad start really just Wailord has no chance. So hope you guys enjoyed, and go Whales!